So some time ago, one of my best friend's mums introduced me as a human doing. And at the time, I was a little confused, but also a little bit excited about the concept of being a human doing. And it got me thinking. In 2010, I was offered a really amazing opportunity to fly around the world and do a documentary for Volkswagen. It was a friend of mine, Rowan Pybus, and myself. We went to 12 countries over 4 months. I went to Mexico and I drank a lot of tequila. I went to Moscow and I celebrated my birthday there. I met my baby brother and baby sister in New York City. I hadn't seen them in 16 years, so I really felt super privileged to be part of this. One of the negatives that came out of it, though, was that we flew 360,000 kilometers. That's how much carbon we put out into the atmosphere. And we felt really responsible. So I decided to do some research to find out what I needed to do in order to compensate for that. And I checked out a couple of websites and did a little bit of fishing around. And eventually what came out of it was that we needed to plant 600 trees to compensate. And I'm sure you'll all agree that's a lot of trees. The thing for me that was the issue was how intangible that is. Just swiping a credit card and all that guilt and the carbon disappears. I felt like I needed to be part of that. I needed to be active within that. I needed to do something. So we decided to plant the trees ourselves. I got on the phone and I phoned as many people as I could who I knew would be keen to get involved. It was a brave task, I won't lie. I was pretty scared. The thought of planting 1,000 trees is quite a lot to bite down on. A friend of mine, Steve, he put together a website within a couple of days, and all of a sudden, we had an online presence. Another couple of friends of mine started phoning up schools, orphanages, community-based organizations, and found places that needed and wanted trees. And believe me, there's a lot of them out there. Another friend of mine, Ben, he had a bucky, and he knew a lot about trees, which I didn't. So we had a bucky for the month, which was also exciting. And the next thing you know, we started planting trees. We also did other fun things. We got on our bicycles. We got friends of ours who had skateboards. We made, I think, about 40 superhero cloaks, and we rode through the traffic, and we got people to honk their horns and get excited about the environment. We canvassed people at the top of Long Street on a Friday afternoon in rush hour traffic, and essentially got people to sign up to plant trees with us, or to give us money for a little piece of cardboard and a seed that said, I'm going to plant trees on your behalf. And fortunately, it worked. I think on that day, we sold 69 pieces of paper for 50 Rand each. That was the beginning of it. And what was incredible, by the 8th or 9th of October, we'd planted 1,000 trees. We were supposed to do it in a month, so we were a couple of days over, but that was okay. The incredible thing that came out of it, though, for me, was the fact that people were so excited. The fact that people had a conduit to go and get involved with something. The phone started ringing, and there were schools that were contacting us saying, we want to plant trees in our school. There were corporates phoning us and saying, I want you to take our staff and give them some sort of volunteering engagement, which allows for them to cross cultures, which allows for them to get their hands dirty. And we had volunteers, Cape Townians, just like you guys. I'm sure a bunch of you come with us before, who said, I want to be active within the environment. And this, for me, was a really positive start. So we decided to start a social enterprise where core business was good business. And that was the beginning. I was pretty gung-ho in the beginning. I was a bit of a cowboy, I won't lie. I didn't know too much about what we were doing, but I was excited. I was all about doing. I was all about getting people active. I was all about saying whatever I needed to say and doing whatever I needed to do and waking up as early as I needed to and literally backbreaking with whoever I needed to get trees into the ground. And that, for me, was super inspirational. That, for me, was positive community. That, for me, was active community. I've learned a lot of things in the last 3 years. I've definitely grown up a little bit. One of the things that, for me, was really interesting is understanding, and maybe this is contrary to what I heard just now, is that trees are the single biggest breathable form of oxygen there is on the planet. If we had to replace the trees that we've cut down in the last 10 years, we'd need to plant 14 billion trees a year for the next 10 years. That's a lot of trees. So many civilizations have fallen because of degradation and deforestation. Food security, soil loss, all of these things are causing big issues. And right now, we've got the positivity of hindsight. So why am I still positive? I have 3 reasons, which are just examples. Recently, I read a book called Blessed Unrest, where Paul Hawkins describes what's happening in the environmental space the world over. This book got me extremely excited. He talks about how people in the environmental and the social space are taking up arms, and they're doing whatever they can do to get active within their community. Something that blew me away is that he estimated that there is over 1 million organizations around the world that are doing things, positive things, that are making them active. A specific example, in Vietnam, over the last 20 years, this is a third world country, they have managed to reverse their deforestation and increase how many trees they have by 20%. That's active citizenship. That's positive. In the past 3 years, I've learned and I've seen a huge amount. Green Pop has just turned 3. Green Pop is all about being excited and popularizing greening and sustainability. Pop. People, ourselves, and our planet. This May, we went to a place called Platbos Forest. It's a majestic forest. It's the southernmost forest in Africa, indigenous forest. It has trees there that are over 1,000 years old, but the forest is less than 10% of its original size. The man that runs that forest is Francois Krikke with his family. It is a beautiful place. This year, we went over 2 weekends, and we brought a whole bunch of active citizens and planted 5,000 trees. Coupled with that, we had music, laughing yoga, and a bunch of other fun things that we did. In July this year, we hosted our 2nd annual reforestation project in Zambia, a festival of action, we like to call it, where we get people from around the world to come and be active citizens with us on the ground in Zambia. One of the things that was so beautiful about this opportunity is shining a light on the people that are being active on the ground. There's a guy there, his name is Lloyd Manyina. He used to make charcoal. Now, charcoal is one of the biggest drivers to deforestation in Zambia currently. Zambia has one of the highest deforestation rates in the world. What Lloyd is doing is he is growing trees now, and we buy those trees from him, and he sells them to the surrounding community as well. For me, that's positive. The other things that we've been doing in Zambia, we host reforestation days, we plant trees with farming groups, we plant trees with school groups, speaker evenings, where we have local community people and people from around the region to come and talk about the environment and the positive things that they're doing. Many exciting things that are happening on the ground, just here in our back garden. Since 2010, Green Pop's managed to plant 30,000 trees in almost 300 beneficiary locations. And believe me, it's active citizens like you guys in the audience that are planting those trees. It's not me. We're on a mission to make cooling the planet cool. And we're trying to inspire people to start with the little things, because it's the little things that matter. Green Pop's what I do in my work experience, but I also do things in my personal way. I like to ride my bike or walk to work, but I probably drive too often. I shower with my beautiful fiancée, but I probably shower for a little too long. I recycle. I think it's magic how you can turn something into something else. I wrap gifts in newspaper. I like to buy art as gifts. I'm a flexitarian. What does that mean? Well, I eat meat maybe once a month, only when I know what its source is and I'm happy with its source. I buy local. You'll be amazed to find out how positive it can be for your local economy and the environment if you buy local. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a perfect citizen. You just have to be a conscious citizen. The more we start waking up, the richer ourselves, our communities, and our planet can become. A world without trees and a world without active citizens isn't a world at all. Come plant some trees with me. You can meet me after the show. Okay? Thank you.